Hey YouTube, it's your girl Dr. J, and I wanted to do a quick video because I'm in the process of planning for our 2015-2016 school year. So I wanted to show you guys some of the things that we're going to be doing for literature. And I got this off of Pintrest. This is one of my little Pinterest hacks that I'm so proud of. Basically, what the kids are going to be doing, the first one I'm going to show you is with Harry Potter. And so they're going to be listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks. They actually already listened to the first two books, and they did it for pleasure. And I'm going to have them listen to it again and then do a report on it. And I'll show you that. But first I want to talk about the use of audiobooks. You guys know all three of my kids are dyslexic and they have dysgraphia. And for dyslexics, audiobooks are oftentimes recommended. Now, I know some people don't necessarily like audiobooks, but research has shown that there aren't a lot of differences in how kids understand or retain information from an audiobook versus reading the book themselves. The biggest difference they found is that when asked to do a summary, children that listen to an audiobook tended to provide more nuanced details than children that read the book themselves. And I also understand that, people say, well, when you read a book, a different area of your brain is engaged versus when you just listen to an audiobook. And that's true. However, fMRI research has shown that for dyslexics, they are already using a different area of their brain when they read versus non-dyslexics anyway. So it doesn't make sense to deny a dyslexic an audiobook because they're already engaging a different area of the brain with reading. So they're never going to read like people who aren't dyslexic anyway. So it just doesn't make sense to not give them audiobooks. If they were in a traditional school setting, they'd be using audiobooks. So mine are using audiobooks as well. So, and then what they're going to be doing, I got this off of Pinterest. I got this idea off of Pinterest. And I love it. I think it's going to work for us. Each child is going to have their own book, and they will decorate the cover and however they want to in their Harry Potter world. And what the Pinterest idea that I got was to provide chapter summaries for each book. And so this is what I did. Little Homeschool Mama, thank you for showing me how to attach these little notebooks together because I had no idea how to attach them so that they were still open. So thank you for that. I watched one of her videos and she clearly showed how to attach them, and they have been a lifesaver. So thank you, girl. So basically what the kids are going to do is for each little matchbook, that is a chapter. And so on the cover, they do an illustration of something that was important that happened in that chapter only. And then inside the matchbook, they will write a little summary of that chapter. And so they'll listen to the book, they'll listen to a chapter, and then they'll provide a chapter summary, and then they'll just go on. And with Harry Potter, there are 17 chapters. So what I've done already is all I did was just write the chapter name so that they can easily track what they're doing. And then in the last little matchbook, that's where they'll do their review. They'll say how many stars they give it, and on the inside they'll write a review of the book. And then on this side, this last flap, they're going to be doing a compare and contrast. The first thing they're going to do is compare and contrast two major characters. The second, they're going to compare and contrast two houses, because you guys know that there are 4 houses at Hogwarts. So they're going to compare and contrast 2 houses. And then in the last one, they're going to compare and contrast the book to the movie. So we have the first 4 movies, and so they'll be doing this for each of the 4, the first 3 Harry Potter books I know. We'll see how they do with the first 3 books to see if they're going to be ready this year to tackle the other books, or if we need to wait a year just for emotional development and all that sort of stuff. But the only thing that will change is that when they go into book 2, for instance, instead of just comparing and contrasting 2 major characters, they will probably take like Harry Potter and compare and contrast Harry's growth from how did Harry change from year 1 to year 2, and then take another character and say how did that character change from year 1 to year 2, and then again they will compare and contrast the book from the movie. So that's that. And then I really like the way that it works setting these up, so I decided to do some additional books for my daughter. And so one of the books she's going to be doing is Clementine. And she has this book, and she also has the audio book on her Kindle on WhisperSync. And so what she does is she'll listen to the book and follow along and read along in her actual book. And so what I did was just copied the cover, and then on the inside, again, it is the chapter breakdown. So this book has 10 chapters, and so I wrote chapters 1 through 10. So she'll do, again, the picture at the top, and then the summary on the inside. And then here, she's going to do a breakdown of Clementine, you know, talk about Clementine, the things that she learned, how does she grow, what are some things that she experienced. And then this is going to be an actual review of the book itself and what she thinks about the book. And then we have 3 books in the Clementine series. And so if she wants to do the other books and do a report on the other books, we'll just attach those to it. Now, another book that she's going to be doing is Sassy. Sassy did not lend itself well to the chapter-by-chapter breakdown. It's a smaller book. It has a ton of chapters, but there's not enough meat in each chapter to justify a summary. And so I decided to do something different with the Sassy book. And with the Sassy book, we're actually going to be doing Bloom's taxonomy. And so what she's going to be doing is she's going to be doing a character analysis of Sassy. So she will draw a picture of Sassy on the front here. And then on the inside, she'll talk about what are some of Sassy's strong characteristics, what are some of the good things, and then what are some of her character weaknesses. And when she writes down the character trait, she's going to also put the page number that shows her illustrating that trait. So if she says she's brave, she's going to have to also talk about, and on this page, that's where she shows her bravery. Or if she says that she's bossy, on this page is where she shows she's bossy. So she's going to do that. And then on this little hand, she's going to write 5 characters. So she's going to write the names of 5 characters that are not Sassy. And then on the inside, she's going to talk about how those characters relate to Sassy and what were Sassy's experiences with those characters. So she may choose mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever she wants. And then talk about how they relate to Sassy, what their relationships were like. This in the last chapter, the grandmother for Sassy's birthday writes a letter to Sassy, and so my daughter is going to have the option. Faster box, she can either write a letter to Sassy for Sassy's birthday, like what would she write to Sassy in a letter for her birthday, or she will have the option of writing, you know, a letter to herself or to someone else, or you know, what would she say in a letter. So this will be a letter that she will write using kind of the same concepts and techniques that were used by the grandmother in her letter to Sassy. And this is my little elevator hack because in the book the family gets stuck on an elevator, and then Sassy does something that they think is really brave, and news cameras end up coming out and interviewing her. So my daughter in this book is going to talk about, does she think that what Sassy did made Sassy a hero? And she's going to say yes or no, and then she's going to justify her responses inside here. And this is Sassy has a Sassy bag, and so what my daughter's going to do is she's going to decorate the front of the bag the way that Sassy talked about her bag was decorated. And then on the inside, she'll talk about what are some things that Sassy put in her bag and why, or what would she put in her own Sassy bag and why. And then the subtitle in this book is Little Sister Is Not My Name. And so in here, Faster Fox is going to compare and contrast what does it mean when they call Sassy, and how does Sassy respond to being called Little Sister versus Sassy, or why do people, you know, what is it about the name Little Sister that Sassy likes or doesn't like, and what is it about the name Sassy that she likes and doesn't like. So that is her Sassy book report. And another book she's going to be doing, this is one of the kind of more dense books she's going to be doing. It's a very small book, but the content is pretty heavy, especially for a 7-year-old. She may be 8 by the time she gets to this book. when she's in 3rd grade. And so this is one of the heavy content wise. And I let her read it because she had asked me to read Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, and I just didn't know. No, we're not going to do that yet. And so I thought this one was going to be good. And it is the Gold Cadillac. And so this is her folder for the Gold Cadillac. And inside, again, she's going to do a character analysis of the main character. So she'll draw that character out. What does she think will be a portrait? And then on the inside, she'll do the character analysis, including page numbers where that character shows those traits. In this little book, she's going to be comparing and contrasting her dad's reaction to the Gold Cadillac versus Mama Dear's, or her mother's reaction to the Gold Cadillac. And so that'll just be, how did they react differently to it and why. And then here, in this book, she's going to be talking about what was significant about the Gold Cadillac. What happened with it, and why does she think those things happened. And this little book, it has 4 tabs, and she's going to write 4 emotions that she saw illustrated in the book. Maybe fear, anger, pride, joy, arrogance, whatever she wants to do. So she'll write the name of the emotion. Inside, she'll write, who had it, why, page number on it, and stuff like that. So we'll be able to talk about kind of what do people go through. And in this book, she's going to be able to talk a little bit about kind of her feelings about what was it like reading this book. What does she think that she would have experienced? Does she think that she would have had some of the same feelings, emotions, fears, ideas as the main character in the book? Has anything like that ever happened to her? Does she think things have changed a lot now? And so this is really just her emotional response and reaction to the book. And so this will be probably one of the later ones that we do. And I'm going to make some of these, a few more of these, just so that we have them on hand and ready to go, so that as the kids move through them. I'll make some for the boys as well for different books. This is one that we'll probably end up doing, so I'll probably be working on this one next. So this is just part of the literature that my kids are going to be doing. They're also going to be part of a literature circle, and I'm really excited about this because they'll be getting together with some other kids in our area. It's not going to be a really big group, no more than 6 kids. Right now we're at a good number, and the kids are all between the grades of 3rd and 5th grade, and they're diverse in their backgrounds, religions, kind of all those sort of things. And so they are going to be getting together once a month. They're going to choose a book. The parents are choosing the first 2 books, and then the kids will be able to choose books after that, because we'll be able to show them the types of books we want them to tackle. And then they'll in the literature circle, each child has a different job, so they'll still be tackling a lot of other books, but these are just, so my kid, she'll probably only do about 1 of these a month. So I'm not going to try to burden her with it. And my kids enjoy reading, and I want them to continue to love reading. So I don't want reading to be a chore. I don't want to force them to just do a ton of this stuff. But I do want to make sure that they have, they're really growing and maturing and really being able to have a good critical analysis of the books that they read. And so that's the process that we're really trying to work through now. So that's going to be our focus for this year. So I thought I'd just show you guys, kind of how these little books, how I'm making them, how we're going to be using them. And I hope this helps. This is Dr. J, and I'm out. Bye-bye.